4 years ago, my family told everyone that I had disappeared. They said I had changed. They said I had stopped caring about them. Some even whispered that something terrible must have happened to me. But the truth was much simpler. I had finally stopped paying for their lives. My name is Maya. Today, I live in a quiet little house outside the city with my 3-year-old daughter, Lily. Our life is not glamorous. I work long hospital shifts. Lily goes to daycare. On Saturdays, we make pancakes, visit the library, and sometimes walk around our neighborhood until she gets tired. It is simple, and I love it. The front door of our house is painted blue. I chose that color myself. To me, it looks like the sky just before sunrise, when everything is quiet and nobody expects anything from you. For 4 years, nobody from my hometown had walked through that door. Not my mother, not my father, not even my younger brother. And that was not because they couldn't find me. It was because I had stopped sending money. And once the money stopped, and so did their interest in finding me. But to understand why, you need to go back 10 years. I was 24 when I became the first person in my family to graduate from college. I had earned my nursing degree while taking out loans and working exhausting shifts at a small diner. My mother, Helen, organized a celebration at our family home. There was homemade food, a cheap cake, and a folding table squeezed beside the kitchen table. My father, Robert, gave a short blessing. My younger brother, Ethan, was 19 and mostly interested in finishing the cake. For one evening, I felt like the family's greatest achievement. My diploma was placed proudly beside the food. Everyone smiled. Everyone hugged me. My mother kept telling the guests how proud she was. I believed her. Then the plates were cleared. My mother reached into a drawer. She pulled out a small cream-colored envelope and slowly pushed it across the table toward me. I looked at her. "What is this?" She smiled. "Just something we need to talk about." I opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten list, and the first number on that list made my stomach drop. It was the exact amount of money my mother expected me to start sending home every month. I stared at that list for almost a full minute. My mother had written down every expense she believed I should help with. The electricity bill, the grocery bill, my brother's car payment, my parents' credit cards, and, at the bottom, a number that was much larger than everything else. "Your father's loan," she said. I looked up. "You want me to pay this?" My mother smiled like the answer was obvious. "You have a good career now. You can afford it." That sentence changed something inside me. Not because she asked for help, because she said it as if my future income already belonged to them. I was a nurse. I had spent years studying, taking loans, and working extra shifts just to earn my degree. I had built my career from the ground up. But apparently, in my family, getting a job meant becoming the person everyone could call whenever money was needed. So I agreed. At first, I told myself it was temporary. I paid one bill, then another. Then my brother needed help. Then my parents needed help again. Soon, every month began with the same message from my mother. "How much can you send?" There was never a thank you. There was only the next request. I kept saying yes. I thought that was what a good daughter did. Then life changed again. I became pregnant. I was excited, terrified, and exhausted all at once. But during my pregnancy, something happened that made me realize how little my family actually cared about me. My health began to suffer from stress. My doctor warned me that I needed to slow down. So I made the hardest phone call of my life. I called my father. "Dad," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Something is wrong. I really need help." There was a long silence. I expected him to ask if I was okay. He didn't. Instead, he quietly said, "Please don't upset your mother." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My own father wasn't asking about his daughter. He was worried about protecting my mother's feelings. I ended the call. Then I placed my phone face down on the kitchen counter. That was the moment I stopped chasing them. I stopped sending money. I stopped explaining myself. And slowly, I disappeared from their lives. Not because I wanted revenge, because I needed peace. But my mother couldn't tell people that, so she created another explanation. She told relatives that I had abandoned the family. Then the rumors started. Some people thought I had fallen into trouble. Others believed someone had convinced me to cut off my family. My mother never corrected them. She simply allowed everyone to believe she was the heartbroken mother whose daughter had vanished. And while I was building a quiet life with my little girl, 来大洋，教我生辈有时呢。台上位子, my family was building a completely different story about me. For 4 years, Maya believed the hardest part was losing her family. She was wrong. The hardest part came when she discovered what they had been telling everyone about her. It started with a message from an old family friend. She wrote only one sentence. Maya, are you safe? Maya stared at the screen. She had no idea what the woman meant. Then another message arrived. She told us you were struggling. Maya's heart sank. Her mother had not simply told people that Maya had moved away. She had created an entire story. Some relatives believed Maya had gotten involved with the wrong people. Others thought someone had controlled her and kept her away from the family. And her mother never corrected them. She simply played the role of the worried parent. Maya wanted to call her. She didn't. Instead, she put the phone down and went to check on Lily. Her daughter was asleep on the couch, hugging a small stuffed rabbit. Maya looked at her and made a promise. No one is going to teach you that love means owing people everything. Then, months later, something unexpected happened. Maya's grandmother, June, became seriously ill. She was in her 80s and had been in and out of the hospital. Maya had always loved June. Unlike her mother, June had never treated Maya like a source of money. She had never asked what Maya could provide. She simply loved her. One afternoon, Maya received a phone call. It was June. Her voice was weak, but her words were clear. I heard you have a little girl. Maya froze. She had never told the family about Lily. June continued. I want to meet her. Maya closed her eyes. There was no anger in June's voice, no pressure, just love. So Maya agreed, but she made one condition. No family gathering. June understood. No speeches, no questions, just you, me, and the little girl. Maya packed a small bag for Lily. They drove several hours to see June. When Maya arrived, June was sitting near the window, wrapped in a blanket. The moment she saw Lily, her face changed. She started crying. Not because Lily was a stranger, but because she looked so much like the family members in the old photographs. June reached out her arms. Lily walked toward her, and June whispered, You should have been here sooner. Maya sat beside them. For the first time in years, she felt something she had almost forgotten, belonging. But their quiet reunion did not stay quiet. Someone told Maya's mother, and within days, Maya received an invitation to a large family event. Her mother wanted everyone together. Maya knew exactly what that meant. It wasn't really an invitation. It was a stage, a room full of people who had already heard one version of her story. And now her mother wanted Maya to walk into that room with Lily. Maya stared at the invitation for a long time. Then she noticed the date. It was the same weekend her grandmother was supposed to be honored. Maya had two choices: stay away and protect her peace, or walk into the room where everyone had been taught to believe she was the villain. She looked at Lily. Then she picked up the invitation and said quietly, Okay, let's go. The church was full when Maya walked through the doors. For 4 years, her family had told people she was gone. Now she was standing in front of them, alive, healthy. and holding the hand of her 3-year-old daughter. The room became strangely quiet. People turned in their seats. Some looked shocked. Others looked embarrassed. At the front of the church stood Maya's mother, Helen. For years, she had allowed people to believe that Maya had disappeared. She had never directly said where Maya was. She had simply let everyone assume the worst. But now Maya was standing there, and the story could no longer hide behind silence. Maya walked toward the front. She didn't come to fight. She didn't come to embarrass her mother. She came for June. Her grandmother was sitting in the front row, waiting with tears in her eyes. Maya stopped beside her. "Lily," she whispered, "this is your great-grandmother." June reached for the little girl's hand. Her eyes filled with tears. For a few seconds, nobody spoke. A woman who had been told Maya was lost was now watching her introduce her own daughter. Then Maya turned toward the congregation. She had brought something with her, a folder. Inside were years of bank statements, receipts, transfers, and payments. She didn't need to shout. She simply explained the truth. She had not abandoned her family. She had supported them for years. The money they said she had refused to give had actually been money she had already sent. The bills she had supposedly ignored had been paid. The debts she had supposedly abandoned had been covered. And when she became pregnant and asked her father for help, she had not been welcomed with concern. She had been told not to upset her mother. That was when Maya finally stopped. The room changed. Some people looked at her with sympathy. Others looked toward Helen. But Maya understood something important. The truth would not make everyone love her. It would not erase 4 years of gossip. It would not magically turn her family into the people she had once hoped they could be. But the lie was no longer unanimous, and that was enough. Helen stepped toward her. For the first time, there was no audience-friendly smile on her face. She looked tired. Then she quietly said, "Everything I did for this family." Maya looked at her mother. She could have argued. She could have listed every sacrifice. Instead, she said one sentence. "Being needed is not the same as being loved." Then she took Lily's hand. She walked toward the doors. Outside, the October air was cold and clean. Lily looked up at her. "Is church over?" Maya smiled. "Ours is." And they walked into the sunlight. For the first time, Maya wasn't running away from her family. She was simply walking toward her own life. And sometimes, that is the strongest ending a person can choose. If this story touched your heart, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Unexpected Life Stories for more emotional stories about family, betrayal, strength, and new beginnings. And remember, you can love your family without allowing them to use you.